What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever 249th episode of Gamescast. We're almost to a milestone here.
Oh, yeah.
Almost to another
249.5 coming at you soon.
And is anything special going to happen that day?
I have no
Probably
idea.
Not. We'd never plan that stuff. Let's get a cake.
Yeah, let's get a cake today.
I may not be here. I don't know.
Cake has carbs, right?
Eat it in my honor.
You may not be here next week. Wow, this is grim. What is happening?
I am your host today, Imran Khan.
Gonna die.
Joining me today is twitch.tv/FM3_. Fran Mirabella III, the best hair in the business.
Thank you. We've
How
moved
you-
off the wrist commentary. I'm glad.
That was a last week.
That was
thing.
last week.
Yeah,
over
we're
it.
all about the future here.
back to
at Funny
business.
Gamescast.
That's right.
We're also joining me today, Mr. Nitro Rifle himself, Andy Cortez.
The Twitch legend,
Locked and loaded,
Andy
baby.
Cortez.
That's what I've been working on. A little branding.
Do you not make like a cock sound? Like
Yeah, because it's like chukku, chukku, like two guns, right? And then two L's, locked and loaded.
So when you put 'em up,
Oh, I get it.
But
Yeah.
does it look right in the? Is it reversed or is it mirrored? No, that's right. That's a
yeah,
right
that's
letter.
right.
That's a correct letter L.
For a second, I just forgot how
Yes.
L's looked like. So
Yeah,
I like it.
It's weird. Are your thumbs double jointed, by the way?
Don't.
wait, which way does it go? Oh, it is that
Like,
way.
can your thumb do this?
That's weird.
What are we
See-
describing here?
You see how my like I can
It
make
bends
this
down.
I can make this L sign, but then with my thumb joint right here, I can go boop.
No, I can't
No.
do that. That's weird.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
That's a double. You got to watch the show.
Oh,
and
wait,
this is why.
maybe?
Maybe we're discovering something.
Yeah.
I can't do it as much as you can. But
Yeah, it's
also
there,
I got
it's there.
fat
No,
hands,
stop
you know
it.
what I mean?
I have a few.
You're definitely double jointed.
I have a few friends.
Do a little bit.
No
yeah.
such
A buddy
thing
of
as-
mine who's all his fingers are double jointed, so they end up making like little S curves. It's really gross looking.
I can't do that without actually causing myself pain.
What the fuck is up,
And
video
crack my
game
knuckles
players?
really easy.
Yeah.
How are we doing, video game players?
So the three of us today, we're hosting the Gamescast. They left us zero instruction while they are in London.
We're gonna burn it down.
Yeah, we're the small squad.
We're gonna do a full playthrough right now.
Full
Crazy
playthrough.
Taxi.
I was
Yes.
I was honestly
Dreamcast,
like, I was thinking
right?
like, what should we do for this podcast? Because I had no ideas. It was just us three. So I'm like, maybe we should play a game. Maybe we should play like every game of the year candidate.
Let's just shoot the shit.
Yeah.
You know what
That
I
seems like
mean?
a
But I like this. We're gonna.
It's gonna be a much more casual game. So why don't we start with what have we been playing since the last Gamescast, which is like 2 days ago?
Sure.
I know that I probably have the most to say because I haven't been on in a while.
Yeah.
I normally just come in to guest here and there. Last time I was on was the Fallen Order review. Has there
2
been
weeks
one
ago.
since then? There has been one.
We did one last week. We actually just did like another Fallen Order like commentary.
Gotcha.
We
Okay.
talked about some other stuff, but that was a big. Yeah, like a
Well, because
double
Imran
dose of
wasn't
Fallen
here.
Order.
Imran
Yeah.
was out of town. That's
Oh, and
right.
Pokemon was last week too.
Gotcha.
So, but Tim hadn't played it yet.
Gotcha.
So that was
Well, I know he was saving it for the flight. I've been playing a lot of that Pokemon, and also since this is just to go back because I've had a lot of people follow up and ask me, Andy, did you ever beat Death Stranding? Yeah, I did. It took me about 73 hours, so I just want to quickly
it
say
took me
that.
almost exactly the same.
What'd you think of it?
I think it was good, not great. I do think I would have loved it, absolutely loved it, if it were, again, like we kept mentioning, if it were about 20, 30 hours shorter.
Right.
But a lot of that time was, kind of on me. But I think if
So
the
it's
game were
weird about
overall
it.
shorter, I think if the campaign was a little bit more condensed, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. I still enjoyed it, though. I'm a sucker for that shit. I'm a sucker for the weird storytelling and the crazy cutscenes. And I was talking to Greg after I beat it, and I sat there and I was like, dude, the cutscenes kept on a-coming.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
you know what? But here's the thing. I didn't want them to stop. I wanted to keep on watching. I just love how every cutscene looked. The sort of the acting was phenomenal. Tommy Earl Jenkins, his incredible performance
that
towards
one
the end of the
scene.
game. Yeah, like, but even then, I put out a stupid tweet the other day that I was like, Mads Mikkelsen will win an Oscar for his performance. A lot of people were like talking shit over it. I was like, guys, obviously it's a fucking joke, but I think Mads Mikkelsen, like, his
was great in it,
performance
though.
in
Yes.
Yeah.
those bigger scenes towards the end where a lot more importance is kind of placed on his role in the overall
as things start
story.
to
I just thought
unravel.
he was fucking phenomenal. dude.
Right.
I thought he was really, really good.
I think the writing kind of let down the acting a little bit
Sure.
towards the end.
Sure.
Because like, it's not that it was
Yeah.
bad necessarily, but it was like you could be more subtle about. I wonder if
Yeah.
somebody told him, "Hey, no one's gonna get this. You need to be more explicit."
Sure.
because he is very explicit about everything at the end of the game.
It reminds me. I've been rewatching a lot of My Hero Academia, and it reminds me. After playing a game like Death Stranding, and after watching My Hero Academia, which is just like any other anime, I could just say any anime really. But everything is super over-explained, right?
Yes.
But the problem with this is that these are like AAA actors. It's like, hell yeah, we have to explain this superpower because blah blah blah. But in a video game, it's not that. It's very super serious acting.
Yeah.
And everything is like very method, and these guys are super in their characters. Where in an anime, it's kind of passable because it's just silly bullshit. But when you have people like Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen on screen, kind of doing this crazy monologue or whatever, and the over explanation is there of shit, it kind of lessens it for sure.
I remember back when Star Wars was being filmed, Harrison Ford went up to George Lucas and he said, like, you can write this shit, but you can't say it. That's how I felt a lot towards the end of Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Of like, this probably looks great on paper, but saying I'm fragile but not that fragile 10 times, it's like, no, one was too much.
Yeah.
One was way too much. But yes, so those are my thoughts on Death Stranding. I enjoyed it. I think if I were to put an arbitrary number on it, again, we need to get away. I keep trying to put this into video game players' brains, right? A 5 out of 10. We need to stop thinking about it as high school and middle school and elementary school.
Oh yeah.
This isn't like
people are still
where
doing
a
that?
7 is passing and a 5 is a failure. No, for me, it's 0 to 10. It's 5 is mediocre, right in the middle. Right smack dab in the middle. This isn't like where anything 6.9 where anything 6.9 and under is a failure grade or whatever. So if 5
People
is
still do
mediocre,
this, huh?
people still absolutely. If 5 is mediocre and 10 is flawless masterpiece, I'd put this at like a 7.8 or an 8.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think for me,
enjoyed it a lot.
For me, it's probably like closer to 7 or 6, 7. But like, I agree with you. That game is not without merit. It's just, there are parts of that experiment that are a little unnecessary or not entirely failures, but they don't succeed.
Sure.
And like, at the end of the day, would I recommend Death Stranding to people? That's a harder question, but it is a game I would want people to experience so I can talk about it with them.
For sure.
Yeah.
I have been kind of blown away because I was just expecting a lot more negativity on the internet, and it could just be circles. It could be the echo chamber where if, I mute a lot of people on Twitter, and that's just kind of for my own mental health.
Yes.
Where, it's not that I don't care about your opinion. It's just that, like, if I see you constantly talking shit to somebody or people in my circles, I probably don't want to see you on my feed pop up anymore, so I'll mute you. So it could just be that I only follow people that, like-minded individuals, all that nonsense. But I've seen a lot of positivity from people that I follow in the community that I wasn't necessarily expecting. Some people were like, yeah, this is kind of bullshit. But there have been several people that are just in the community, not necessarily in the industry, that bought the game and were like, fuck, I'm liking this. This is cool.
Yeah.
Or people that have even beat it and are like, fuck, that was really, really good. So I was a lot more surprised by that sort of aspect of it. I was expecting a lot more hate and vitriol. Now, did it, oh, we should talk about Game of the Year also. Like Game Awards.
Yeah.
Keeley's Game Awards.
Yeah, it's funny. I
Awards.
thought we'd be talking about that.
It's a great topic, Fran.
It is.
Why don't you write that down in your little document?
That's a different doc that I'm doing.
Anyway, that's how I feel about Death Stranding. Just want to talk about it.
You should talk about Pokemon, though.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on Pokemon.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about Pokemon.
How far are you into it?
I have 6 badges.
Okay.
The girl Marnie just got me. I don't want to spoil anything, but she.
Yeah. So she got you into the 7th gym town.
Yes.
So I'm a little bit further than you. Right about where you are is where I think the game starts falling apart.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, there is... I played more last night. I finished the 8th gym. They really give up on the whole... This is a puzzle gym mentality. Like, literally, the gym you're at, it's a straight line with trainers. The 8th gym, not even a straight line. You literally walk into a room and 3 trainers approach you. That's it.
So okay. So that sort of methodology is kind of just thrown out.
Yeah, they throw it away. It's like, I think maybe it's a budget thing or a rush thing, but they gave up on the gym thing hard at the end.
Did you beat it yet?
No, I'm heading towards the championship now. There is a big, like, side, like, a story. So every Pokemon game, you've played Pokemon games before, right?
Here's my story with. Here's my past with Pokemon. I'm way more inexperienced than I thought I was, and I'll tell you why. I beat Red way back in the day, obviously. Beat Gold, and then I beat Yellow. Obviously, Yellow, Red, Blue, whatever. Every Pokemon game since then, except for, I believe, Ruby Sapphire. No, because that was Gen 3, right?
Yeah.
Ruby Sapphire. So Gen 4, I believe, is the one that I skipped entirely. But every generation since Gen 2, I've put maybe 5 to 10 hours in and gave up just because I lost interest. So, like Ruby Sapphire, I barely put any time into. X and Y, and I bought X, I bought Moon, I bought Black. Every game since then, I've just kind of barely put time into, given up on because I just lost interest.
Right.
And so that's my history with Pokemon. So a lot of these Pokemon are popping up.
You've never seen them before.
In this game, and I'm stoked about it. Yeah, and I expected that. I totally expected that. But there are some Pokemon popping up, and I'm like, whoa, this dude's cool. Where's he from? And my chat room will tell me, dude, he's from Gen 2. I'm like, fuck, I played Gold. What are you talking about? Like, I don't remember that. So there's a lot of Pokemon that I have zero knowledge on, and if I said that I was a casual fan, I feel like I'm even less than that now because I barely know shit about this goddamn franchise.
This one, like, so you know how in every game there's like there's a main story of something happening outside the gyms.
Oh, of course.
Like Team Rocket or like...
There's always an overarching theme, yeah.
Or Team Aqua and Magma and all that. This one, it seems like it's happening, but you're not really involved with it. Other characters are doing it, and they do it off screen.
Yeah.
So, like, literally there was a time I saw Lee run off to go do something, and then maybe 5 minutes later, somebody shows me a picture on their phone of Lee having done it.
Oh.
And I'm like, what? Why was I not involved with this?
I would have loved to have been there.
Yeah, like this would have been a fun thing for me to get involved with. But I'm enjoying the game even though I don't necessarily think it's a good Pokemon game. But I'm still like, when people talk about Outer Worlds as comfort food, this is how I feel about Pokemon. It's like this is exactly what I want. It's just not it's the Barack Obama of video games.
Okay.
It's an incrementalist, it's genial, it's nice, doesn't do that much different. Does a couple of bad things that we've all decided not to talk about.
Sure.
But otherwise, like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's scrub that from history, right? I am enjoying the game a lot more than I thought I would. And I think a lot of that was because of what Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu did for me.
Right.
Where that brought in this sort of, obviously, new aesthetic to everything. And I wasn't necessarily expecting to even be into that sort of vibe or whatever, but... The thing that I wish stayed from the Let's Go series, and I hope we get a Let's Go Gold or Silver in the future, is that I don't really want to battle wild Pokemon anymore. And I think I got super spoiled on that, and I'm very casual in that sense where the changing of that mechanic really appealed to someone like me who just kind of wants to be in and out and get XP a little bit quicker and faster. I do think the XP gains are really generous. In this game, where your whole squad's just getting like, I remember distinctly playing Red and Gold and Yellow, and your starter Pokemon would be a level 50 and everybody else is like 28, 31. But now like everybody's level 50 something because we're all getting a lot of XP, a lot of similar XP.
Some XP inflation.
Yeah, for sure. I'm enjoying it. I since day one, I've kind of been of the mind that I wish all the old Pokemon were gone, and I wish we only had newer Pokemon.
I'm that same way. I don't want to use old Pokemon at all.
Yeah, like here's my sort of thinking with it. Like, if I want to change the foods that I eat, I'd rather not have those foods available to me at all.
Right.
And when I play newer Pokemon games, I want that comfort food. And I see a Growlithe, and I'm like, well, I got to take the Growlithe because I know that,
Right.
I know what that means. And I've always wanted these newer Pokemon games to get rid of the old ones. So I'm totally on the opposite side of the fans being mad that every Pokemon from the Dex is not in there.
Right. For me, it's I make a new team, and I want to journey through that team and make a bond with them. And like these 6 Pokemon are like the Pokemon that I have bonded with through a game.
Yeah, for sure.
And like that was harder this time because like there's only 2 new grass types, period. Because I expect you to just use older ones.
Gotcha.
So I'm like,
well,
well,
I didn't even know that. There's a lot of inner things about this game that I don't know about, and possibly those are probably where those are all the complaints are coming from. But when I'm playing this game, I'm always tempted to just use the old ones because I know that, and I know what they are, and I know what they do. Mm-hmm. And I've always just wanted to go into a new Pokemon game with brand new Pokemon and find what my new Arcanine is going to be.
Yeah.
Find my new fucking whatever, Charizard. You know, I want to find that new replacement for it.
Yeah, you want to find your new faves.
Yeah, instead of being kind of stuck to the past. You know, leave the past behind, Fran. Kill it if you have to.
That's it.
Is what Kylo
Thanks
Ren
for including me in this
in the
Pokemon
Force
conversation.
Awakens. Yeah, you playing it too?
No, it's okay. I haven't had time yet. I'm way down.
I saw you even finishing that Control.
Yeah.
I finished up Control. Yeah.
Yeah.
How close were you to the end when you started last night?
I was really close. I didn't realize, but I was right there at the end. So it only took me like another 90 minutes or something.
Did you already do the silos part by the time you started?
Silos?
Like when you have to raise those thing. I don't want to spoil too much.
Yeah, don't spoil
But it's
anything.
it's a hard combat encounter.
Which
is
sorry.
not-
That's exactly what I was on.
Okay.
Yeah.
That part's not fun.
Yeah, it was so 2 nights ago. Yeah, very close to the end. I guess silos make sense to me now. But you're basically just in a really big tiered combat situation, and it was 2 a.m. You know, and I died a couple times, but I was like, well, I pretty much got this, but I don't want to frustrate myself. Plus, I want to enjoy the end. So
Yes.
I logged off and came back to it.
Well,
last
we'll
night.
see if you enjoy the end.
No, I did. I finished it.
Oh, you finished it.
So
Okay.
yeah.
I know it just ended really weakly.
That game has no ending.
When
Like,
it ended,
I definitely was.
I looked down at my phone, and I like opened up Instagram or something, and I looked back up, and the credits were rolling. I was like, "Oh fuck!"
it feels like DLC is supposed to pick up right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
they-
maybe that's the real ending.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I guess it's kind of. So no, I didn't like sort of the pace of how it ended. It left me wanting, but it also felt a little in that style of episodic TV of like, this is this season, and yeah. So I definitely wanted more, but you could. The first thing I said, I was like, oh, I can tell the scope of this game. You know, you could definitely tell that they. You know, we knew this about Control, that they developed it faster than they normally did at
Yeah.
Remedy.
Smaller budget.
Et cetera. But what an amazing job, and challenged them to, frankly, I think, do something they haven't done in a while and just crank out something really creative, took some risks, and I want more. But it definitely left me wanting more. I wish there was a big thing at the end, and there wasn't quite that.
It feels like Ashtray Maze should have ended that game. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was like that big
Again,
set piece moment.
pace-wise, for
Yes.
sure. So, like, Maze, and then I feel like I still could have used, like, a big boss battle type something.
There were those optional bosses, and they all were kind of bad.
Yeah, they weren't brilliant, but that's what I'm saying. I was waiting for, like, how do I bring this into,
big
like,
baddie.
a big
Yeah.
encounter?
Instead of just
thing.
big ads.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, a big encounters a lot of ads.
So
Really,
you- but the
sorry,
game's
I didn't
awesome.
mean to. I didn't mean to segue over to Control.
Yeah, I didn't mean to take you out of
Sorry.
it, by the way. I was just gonna say I've been quiet and looking at my laptop because I've only really played Pokemon Go and then Pokemon Let's Go recently somewhat, but I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan just for time reasons.
Yeah.
I know I do enjoy it, but yeah, I'm not playing this at all yet and don't know when I will.
I think it's a lot of fun,
Yes.
and I definitely am having a lot more fun with it than I thought I would. This was a game provided by Nintendo, by the way. Game was provided by Nintendo. But
thought
honestly,
that
I probably would have
yeah.
bought it anyway because last time I streamed Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, it was just fun, and there was like those kind of streamable, fun, memeable moments where something, if I don't catch one or if I'm kind of freaked out, but you know, it's good content, I think.
Right.
So I knew that I would be buying this anyway, but Tim approached me and was like, "Hey, do you plan on playing?" Well, they sent us Sword and Shield. I'm thinking Sword. You want Shield? So of course, yeah, I took it. And the Ponyta. Oh my gosh, Fran, let me tell you about this Ponyta. Beautiful, a beautiful thoroughbred. This
Oh.
horse, because you're playing in Galar. Are you aware that different? I don't know
Regional
how
differences.
recent. I don't know how recently this started. Was it
Last
Sun
gen,
and Moon?
yeah.
It was Sun and Moon. So they in Sun and Moon you're playing like in this sort of Pacific Islander sort of style place. What was it called?
It was. God, I
It was
knew
like
it was like-
Hawaii.
You know, you start off in Kanto and Gen 1, and then there's like Koen and all that shit. Or Hoenn, sorry. So Sun and Moon brought on
Alola.
Alola.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong guy because I actually thought it was Ponyta.
I always thought it was Ponyta too.
So, okay, well, that's what I thought it was.
Is it
too.
Ponyta?
Maybe it is Ponyta. That's what I've always said. But then I think chat was like,
I honestly have
correcting me.
no idea.
Anyway, so the last gen introduced.
Sorry, I brought it up.
The last gen introduced these Pokemon that are exclusive to those to this new world,
Right.
called Alola, and you would get these Alolan exclusive Pokemon that look different.
Yeah.
They might be a different type. So
Like Alolan Raichu is a psychic type.
yeah,
Yeah.
And there was like an Alolan. The fucking tall dude with the big neck.
Execute.
Yeah,
Cutor.
They give you different versions or whatever, and they are exclusive to those games, and they have a totally different look, a totally different fighting style. So this this game introduced Galar, which is basically a region based on the UK. You're kind of in an England type country. Everybody says "oi." Everybody says
Right. Oh, God,
everybody says "jog on, mate." You know, everybody does all that shit.
It's like
And
Australian
it's really heavy-handed.
Extremely heavy-handed.
It's extremely heavy. But look at this Ponyta.
Oh, it's just
Ponyta.
gorgeous.
Ponyta.
Ponyta.
This is someone
Ponyta.
really fucking loving My Little Pony.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, it is
Like,
pretty much just My Little Pony. By
Look
the
at-
way,
look
but-
But
like-
she's also a unicorn, so it's like, come on, she gets extra points.
I know,
Yeah.
Kevin. And then when
cool.
she so in the old Pokemon games,
Look at him having fun.
in the old Pokemon games, Ponyta evolved to Rapidash. In this one, she evolves into. I already fucking forgot.
I've never evolved.
Just
one, so I
like
don't know.
flaming.
No,
mane,
it's called
no.
a.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I
that
forgot what
it?
she's called.
Yeah.
No. That's
No?
a fake.
Okay,
That's
all
a
right,
fake.
well, that was disappointing because
concept
like a
or whatever.
Pegasus.
What's the evolution? Come on.
A Galopa, like galloping
go.
or whatever. Look at that.
That
So
is.
It's just like it's
That is so majestic.
So yeah, majestic.
It's insane. And whenever you ask her Galopa to do a move, she does like this fucking head
a
whip.
little hair.
And her
like,
beautiful mane just kind of flows. But
Ah,
yeah,
I
it's
love
like
that.
it's really cool. So Galar has some Pokemon that are exclusive to it. They have a Meowth, Fran. Let me talk about this Meowth.
Yeah?
it's a big ass
Meowth-
Maine Coon.
I do know
This-
Meow, thankfully.
from the front view. I had a little trouble saying that. right
Front
there.
view.
From the front view.
From the front view, this Meowth looks like a little chubby thing, right?
Yeah.
But then the
fat
camera
cat.
revolves around to the side. It's not the size of the cat. That's its beard. It has this
Oh.
crazy big beard. Look at this fucker.
Yeah.
Wait, is that
Well,
what
that's
it
what
is?
it
No, that's
evolves
the evolve.
into.
All right,
Berserker.
hold on, sorry, give me one
Yeah,
second.
because I was like, that's not Meow.
The top ones, Kevin. Yeah, that one.
It's just so out of
Oh,
like,
shitty
focus.
images? Yeah.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
Galarian.
There we go. That's
Meowth?
Galarian Meowth.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
so
I was like-
it looks like its body's kind of a big round thing, but from the back view, that's just only a beard. It still has a little tiny body.
Oh, I
It's
see.
a silly little vibe.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But anyway, it's cool, and I think they've. I do hate how heavy-handed the Britishness in this game is. It's
real British.
It was totally written by somebody who just has watched fucking
Downton
a Ricky
Abbey.
Gervais show before.
yes.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of jog-ons. There's a lot of they have you ever heard of this saying, Kevin? They said, "Oh, I wanted to do that, but I'm pants with that."
Yes.
Pants with it?
Like,
Or
oh, that's
pants with all that. Yeah.
That, I'm pants with all.
I've
that.
never heard that.
Exactly.
Is
I
that a
don't know
good
what-
thing? Do we want to be pants with that?
It's like somebody just
You don't.
Googled UK-isms,
Got
you
it.
know?
Yes.
And it's like really, really kind of dumb in a lot of moments.
Such
really
an
bad.
American attitude, Andy.
I mean, it is. It totally is. Which, by the way, I'm having this issue on the internet, guys. I'm just
boy.
going to mention it really quickly.
One
'cause
of
I'm sure
many.
we'll dive into it more on the Kind of Funny
bet.
podcast later. But I've seen a couple of UK shows, right? And some people on those shows have pronounced the word controversy.
Interesting.
And
It's like
and
Gary
I
Whitta.
and I
Should we
mean,
Like
call Gary?
controversial, but
like controversy, but they say controversy. And I made this as a joke. And a lot of people came at me and were like, "Andy, fucking nobody says it like that." And I was like, "Yeah, maybe you're right, but I could have sworn I heard it
Yeah.
somewhere."
I feel like I've heard that too.
And then I was watching a show recently where the dude said controversy, and I was like, "Fuck, maybe I'm right." And I talked about it on my stream last night. And then I get people coming at me. You guys, you know, Andy, you're wrong. Our friend Chloe is in the UK right now, filled in a room with a bunch of British people. I was like, nobody's ever said that in my ever. But then I Googled it, and on the Telegraph,
speak-
the Telegraph website, you know, you heard of them.
Yes.
They're from the UK.
Yes.
And they mentioned, yes, you know, I think this is like the American culture has changed controversy to controversy.
Oh, they think that's been changed. Well, remember, there are the dialects within there as
Exactly.
well. So, like, it
It's
might
the
be
elytist
some
way to put it.
portions
Like
Britain that say
aluminium.
that.
yes.
You know? Anyway,
I like
video
that,
games.
that it's become a controversy. of
Yeah.
how you pronounce controversial.
Controversial.
Controversial. Yeah.
I'll just be happy when we can stop spelling favorite without a U.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, my
I'm
favorite.
sorry, I just
My
can't do
favorite
it.
thing the other day. I had to
We
point
don't
this
do
out.
that here.
I had to point this out to Nick and Tim, who have since died.
Yeah.
But
you guys.
we saw a tweet
Wow.
from Troy Baker, and Troy Baker said something along the lines of like, "This is my favorite thing," and he spelled favorite with a letter U. I was like, "Oh, that's the
Yo,
most Troy Baker
Troy.
thing in the world."
God dang it.
You know what I mean?
I
If
remember.
he did, yeah.
I remember getting into a drunk argument when I lived in England for a bit. I remember getting into a drunk argument with someone who was like yelling at me saying, "You guys spell armor actually wrong." And I'm like, I have no response to that because you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we do spell it wrong, but I'm not going to put a U in it for any reason.
Everybody knows.
I'm more open to that one.
People in the UK created armor, so they have the rights
Yes.
to it.
Also,
the rights
color.
to
But color,
They
I'm like,
created
color works
armor.
better without
Fuck
the U.
them. They're wrong about color.
They are.
The English language isn't derived from
They are.
anything else. Like, okay. We're all wrong, basically.
Anyway,
is what it
Pokemon's
is.
cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm definitely enjoying it. It's a fun little jaunt, and the animation's really
jaunt
cool.
with a U.
I'm really excited for the franchise to keep progressing.
Yeah.
Because I would love to see one day the look of it. I want the visual fidelity of like a Dragon Quest or
Yeah, like would Breath of the
or
Wild be?
Ni no Kuni,
Which is why it's
you
so
know?
disappointing, because like this is a game that exists on a console with Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah.
And Dragon Quest 11 looks so much better.
Yeah.
But like, I'm still enjoying this game. I want them to take 2 years off, or a year off at least, and just make a better game.
Oh,
at the
they'll
end of it.
take 4. You gotta be careful.
Which I think is
they
fine.
probably
Yeah.
would. Yeah, but see, aren't they just gonna take the same engine and they'll make some quality of life improvements, but it's gonna look the same, and it'll be, instead of Sword and Shield, it's gonna be
This is
know.
a new engine for them, so presumably they're going to spend more time getting used to it.
Instead of
But
Sword and
that's
Shield,
my
it'll
point.
be
It's not
brick
going to
and
be.
mortar.
It will only be, maybe a couple of years, but it's going to look the same, roughly speaking.
There's a lot you could do once you understand an engine better. Like, holy
Yeah.
shit, the wild area online. It is like the worst. I
I
don't know
just
how a
meant
game.
stylistically,
Oh yeah, but like
obviously.
performance-wise, if
Yeah,
you go
I-
online in the wild area, it runs like a
not so good.
bad PS2 game.
It is like, look, I'm not even trying to be angry video game guy right now.
Yeah.
But like, it's pretty fucking unacceptable.
Yes,
that
it should not have
Nintendo's
shipped that
online
way.
services still perform this way. Like
Yeah.
it's so these wild areas, Fran, they're kind of just a big wild open world, open roaming area.
It's where you can meet other players.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really do anything with them. Like they're not.
Yeah.
But they're around.
Yeah, they're around, and when you connect to the internet, it just straight up chugs as if you are on
Oh.
like DSL internet or something like
Weird.
that. It's
Just
really,
get all this like.
it's pretty
lagginess.
terrible. It's
Has anyone tried connecting to the internet with a USB dongle?
I have.
yes, I'm hardwired.
It's not better.
No.
I am always hardwired.
It's the netcode is just bad.
It's really, really
that's a
terrible.
shame.
That's what I was gonna say. It's just, they have no experience with it apparently.
But it's also
and-
not shocking when
little.
The first and only time I played Mario Maker 2 online, which was a couple months ago, I was like, okay, this is what I expected, because you know why? Smash Online fucking sucks too. And
Yeah.
when I would play that game with my chat, if one person in the game
Same as
has
Mario Kart.
mediocre internet, like it just
Drags
shits the
everybody
bed.
down.
Yeah, it's really disappointing, man. I don't understand. I don't understand why they don't put more of an emphasis when they know that's been their weakness for such a long time. You know,
It's the Nintendo way
it's bullshit.
because
man. And
it's
I want
going to
change.
sell
Yeah.
13 million copies. That's why. And they know it.
Their New Year's resolution. I was gonna
get
say
to that
I was
later.
gonna say their New York resolution. Their New Year's resolution should be to improve their just everything online.
Yes, I would love that.
And my
quite a bit.
my New Year
That'll be the
resolution,
day.
I'm gonna go to the gym more, Fran.
Oh, nice.
To
And
improve
eat-
your
maybe eat more
online.
yeah,
Yeah.
to perform. Yeah, to improve my net code.
That's it.
So I'm gonna check it. Jedi Fallen Order. I'm not finished yet. I've gotten a little bit further.
Yeah.
Last week when I talked about it, I was like, I'm not. This game is fine. I'm not really
Yeah, it
feeling.
wasn't clicking.
It is now clicked.
Yeah.
Awesome. We said this on the show too. I said I think when you get farther.
Yes.
I thought I did anyway. And it sounds like it's starting to come to fruition.
Yeah,
You're pretty
once,
far now.
Once, because the game, a criticism I would give the game, it does not teach you how to play it well, so you can fall into a lot of bad habits with
Yep.
regard to like the fighting system.
Mm-hmm.
So like I commented about it on Twitter. There's an encounter with 3 fucking spiders and a slug. It's just
Right,
like,
right.
why am I here? Why this just feels awful. I was never countering those spiders Because like, why?
Oh,
Why?
yeah. You didn't
Almost
even
everything is
try.
dodgeable.
Yeah.
So like, I was playing it like a Souls game, which is dodge out of the way, strike, dodge out of the way, whatever.
Yeah.
Once somebody on Twitter told me, actually just counter all the lunges, they die in one hit. Which also a little kind of bullshit because nothing else does that. But once I learned that, I was like, okay, well, I should be parrying everything a lot more.
Yeah.
Which made the game a lot better. And then once I got like force pull and all that jazz and like the double jump, all of it made a lot more sense with me.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
start to feel more powerful, and yeah, you're more effective. Like I forget why the comment came up, but you did make. It was some kind of comment like that. You're like, I don't know. It felt like I don't know if you said flat or like there's something about it that it seemed more one dimensional to you or something. And I was like, oh, but that's because they want you to feel underpowered,
Right.
And when you earn that simple thing like the pull, it really. You're like, holy cow. And that, to me, that's what it was. I think somebody was talking about maybe wanting everything like Control, or maybe that was it,
that's
right?
what-
And I just want to feel all the power in it. I was like, it's just such a different game. And I appreciate that. You know, Control is really cool. You can't use your powers every second, but you use them a lot.
A lot more frequently.
Yeah. Whereas in Fallen Order, you know, it was very Metroid Prime, Metroidvania style, and just when you earn the next power, I thought it was so liberating and just like exciting. Elating was the word I was looking for. So it was like all the above. But man, when you get that next power, and especially towards the end, and you're almost actually at another interesting spot. You mentioned where you're at.
I got this one.
That one is going to be pretty cool too.
I got this one skill that like pulls everyone just around you. So like,
Yeah.
and like combining that with the ability to change your lightsaber type,
Right. The
with
switch.
a combo, it's like that is so fucking fun. Of like
Yeah.
doing that and immediately going double lightsaber and spinning it around you.
That's when it starts to feel cool, man.
Yeah.
When it throws it, you throw it around you.
Yeah.
and shit
It's
like
like,
that.
this is
you know when you switch between your normal lightsaber and the double, did you grab that?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a
That
double
skill-
upgrade.
I love
skill.
that move.
That's like one
But-
of the best skills in the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a really good move.
Because you just start feeling so powerful switching between the two back and forth.
What difficulty are you playing on?
Jedi Master.
Okay, so
That's the sweet spot.
I
in my
wanted to
opinion.
clarify because when we did the review, I got the names mixed up. So that's hard, right?
That's
Like
the
it's-
one up
if it's-
above
That's
like
3 out
If
of
it's
4.
easy, normal, hard, very hard,
Yeah.
you
It's-
played on hard.
It's
Okay.
story,
Yeah.
3, right?
Jedi Knight, Jedi Master, Jedi Grandmaster.
I went
Yeah.
one up from whatever the default was.
I had the names wrong. So
That's Jedi Knight is one up.
I played about 30% of the game on hard, and then
On Jedi Master.
I dropped to normal.
Jedi Knight.
Yeah,
Yep.
Jedi
Okay.
Knight. So I had the names wrong. So I
I
talked,
probably got the names mixed up too. I think I'm playing on Jedi Knight.
The one right up from story mode.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay,
That's Jedi
gotcha.
Knight.
Yep. See, that's the same thing happened to me. So I mentioned how some of the combat. Yeah, I do agree with you, Imran, that it doesn't. A lot of the encounters towards the end, a few of them towards the end, made it feel like a different game to me.
Yeah.
Because they are a lot more single-person focused, and you have to really, really concentrate on parrying.
Yeah. The sister fights are amazing.
Yeah, and I think they're great, you know, because you break their stamina and
So
you
cool.
see their stamina being dropped, and that's when they're vulnerable or whatever. But I mentioned that, and then somebody in the comments was like, well, yeah, that was a surprise to Andy because he mentioned that he played it on normal for 30%, and then he dropped to story mode for the rest of it. So in story mode, it's a lot of just hack and slash, and it feels easier. And I was like, oh, no, wait, I fucked up. I didn't play on story. I played on...
You played on hard
I
and
went
then
from
dropped to
hard to normal.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's still, you know, fairly challenging in some moments, but I do think that throughout a lot of the early parts of the game, it felt like I was playing a different video game towards the end with some of the different encounters. It just felt a little bit different to me. So I just wanted to clarify that I didn't go from normal to easy. I went from hard to normal.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's so cool finding these enemies you feared at one point. Like when I went back to Dothamir and whatever, and fought like the Night Brother. It's like these guys kicked my ass at first, and now I'm literally throwing them away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than, and I think a lot of it goes into the satisfaction I get from when I play Overwatch and I'm Roadhog and I pull somebody into
totally.
off the ledge, or if I'm Lucio and I boop somebody off the ledge and I kill him. I love the feeling of
Force pushing.
I see
someone off,
3
like-
people. I'm like, I'm gonna position myself where I can only just force push you because it's really cool and it feels good.
Yeah.
Instant kill, you know.
I fucking love doing that to Purge Troopers that are always like these huge badasses, like fight me.
Yeah.
I'm like boop.
Yep. I saw, was it Lucy O'Brien or Lucy James or something? But one of them had just, what are the little, they're like R2-D2 style droids, whatever those are called.
Yeah, the little...
The Imperial ones.
Yeah, the Imperial
black ones, right?
Yeah, they're black. But somebody was just at a ledge, and I don't know if it was the first time they ever did it. It seemed like it, but they were like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And they were like, "Boop," and it goes, and you hear like that fading, classic sound. I was like, that is so hilarious. Like they just nailed like the sound effect that made it such a payoff. And I never did that in the game. There's a lot of little stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, once I got Force Pull, I was using it a decent amount, but then I didn't realize it was so powerful because it does take up a lot of your force. You just pull them in and you're like, and you just stab them to death.
Yeah.
And it's a move. And you can do that on so many
Some
things.
will get away from you if you try to do it.
If they're powerful. And actually, like, one of the enemies in the game, or several, but there's the one with the spear, and you try to pull it, and if you never tried it, you would never notice this, but it puts its spear in the ground, and it stops itself, and it's like, it's scraping on the ground as you try to pull it towards
and if
you.
you still pull him towards you, like, he'll, like, attack you as he's coming towards you.
It's
like,
so,
whoa.
all these little touches.
Or like slugs can't be pushed or pulled because they're just stuck to the ground.
Slugs, I guess, yeah.
It's
cool once everything comes together.
Yeah.
And so
I do think there's a lot more, based on my fighting style and based on what I've seen on the internet, the combat goes a lot deeper than I initially thought, similar to when I played God of War. And that was showcased by the Twitter account. I'm trying to find it. The dude that always...
Sunni Legend?
Yeah, Shuni Legend. He gifted out a really awesome one where he pushed the stormtrooper or whatever the hell it was. I think it might have been the
Purge Trooper?
The Purge Trooper.
Yeah.
Pushed it off the ledge, and it was about to fall off, and then he pulled him back and did the stab. So like the guy was gonna fall off.
He
had he not
baited
done
him.
He pushed him off, pulled him back, and stabbed him. And I think
that's hilarious.
It is kind of funny you're a Jedi, and it's like you're probably one of the worst mass murderers in the universe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're all bad people and slugs.
It's fine. All right.
They're dark side slugs.
Today's Kind of Funny Gamescast is brought to you by Trojan Condoms. STDs are at an all-time high in the U.S., with half of all new STDs occurring in young people ages 15 to 24, yet condom use is on the decline. Only 1 in every 3 sex acts involves a condom among singles. 62% of couples stop using condoms regularly after the 2-month mark in a sexual relationship, and 78% stop using condoms after only the 6-month mark. Despite common fears of judgment or embarrassment, less than 2% of people actually pass judgment when they see a guy buying condoms. The rest think he's being smart and responsible, think nothing at all. And also, it's just none of their business. When you're buying a condom, shopper, you only need to spend an average of 7 seconds at the shelf, partially a function of the embarrassment of fear of judgment, but you shouldn't worry about it. You don't actually need to be embarrassed or feel judged when buying condoms. Everybody does it. We all need condoms for sexual activity. Trojan brand condoms help protect against both unintended pregnancy and STDs. Trojan has a reliability of a brand that has done this for over 100 years. In a modern and evolving world of sex, one filled with swipes right, dating apps, and emojis, Trojan is here to be your guide as the most trusted brand in sex. Trojan's brand purpose is centered around enabling confident sexploration for all sex-having people. Trojan has over 30 different varieties of condoms to choose from. Thin, ribbed, lubricated, non-lubricated, latex, non-latex. We have some of the varieties right here. There's the Trojan Nirvana, which is a collection of, 10 lubricated latex condoms. It's about Ari Lincoln's painting, so it's a pretty cool thing already. There's the Magnum. Got this? Go for it. Do not get a condom that's way too small. That's not going to be good for anyone. The Bearskin, my personal preference. Another Nirvana. I'm taking some of these home. Kevin, I'm stealing some of these.
Take 'em.
Okay. If you are sexually active in any way, you need a condom. Pick up Trojan condoms wherever you get your condoms. You can pick up Trojan condoms here or online, wherever you need to. Kind of Funny Gamescast is brought to you by Logitech today and the Pro X gaming headset. Designed in collaboration with and for pro gamers for advanced comms and precision audio. This is the first Logitech G headset to feature Blue Voice microphone technology. This gives you a choice of real-time voice filters to reduce noise, add compression, and de-essing, and ensure that your voice sounds richer, cleaner, and more professional. Features soft foam earpads wrapped in premium leatherette and breathable velour to keep you comfortable no matter how long the game goes on. There's a lot of headsets that like you wear glasses and you try to put them on, like smash your ears against the glasses. It is incredibly uncomfortable. From what I understand, these Logitech headsets do not do that. Pro X has some serious next-gen surround sound. Version 2.0 takes 7.1 channel surround sound further than ever, with enhanced bass rendering, audio clarity, and proximity cues. And most importantly, a new level of distance awareness differentiates between near-field and far-field audio, so you can pinpoint your enemy's location far more quickly and accurately than ever. Pro X joins the complete setup of Logitech G gear developed in close collaboration with top esports pros. With Logitech G's most advanced tech and focused design, nothing gets in the way of winning. For a limited time, Logitech G is offering our listeners 10% off any of their products at logitechg.com. Use code KINDA for 10% off today. That's 10% off all Logitech G products if you purchase from logitechg.com with code KINDA. We're also brought to you by Logitech's G915 Lightspeed Wireless RGB Mechanical Gaming Keyboard. The G915 is the most advanced gaming keyboard ever made. Logitech G has combined sophisticated design, cutting-edge technologies, and breakthrough engineering to bring you the ultimate wireless keyboard. The Logitech G915 is a new class of mechanical gaming keyboard featuring breakthrough Lightspeed technology with super fast 1 millisecond report rate. Lightspeed Wireless makes issues like lag time a thing of the past. G915 is engineered with LightSync, Logitech G's amazing next-gen RGB lighting. With LightSync, you can customize the lighting colors of any and every key and even synchronize your keyboard to light up with the action of your games, music, and videos. I have a Logitech mouse that has that same technology. Whenever Borderlands I die in it, it starts flashing a little bit. It's a pretty cool effect. Features high-performance new mechanical gaming switches. The low-profile switches give you supreme gaming speed and accuracy at half the height of traditional switches. That means smoother, more comfortable key presses from your opening to attack to victory. Premium quality inside and out, incredibly thin, beautiful aluminum alloy top plate. Ultra durable keys, refined media controls, and customizable G keys to execute complex actions with a single keystroke. The rechargeable battery power skew through even the longest gaming section with 30 hours of non-stop battery life with a quick 3-hour charge. For a limited time, again, Logitech G is offering our listeners 10% off any of their products at logitechg.com. That means including this keyboard and including the headset we just talked about. Go to logitechg.com, use code KINDA for 10% off today. That's 10% off all Logitech G products with promo code KINDA. We're also brought to you today by Upstart. As most of us have found out the hard way, getting into debt is easy. Getting out is hard, especially if your credit score isn't great. Thankfully, now there's Upstart.com, the revolutionary lending platform that knows you're more than just your credit score and offers you smarter interest rates to help you pay off the high-interest credit card debt. Greg himself needed this when he first moved here to San Francisco. Upstart goes beyond the traditional credit score when assessing your credit worthiness. They actually reward you based on your education and job history in the form of a smarter interest rate. Upstart believes you're more than just your credit score. They believe in you, and they understand that. They make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate in just a few minutes. The best part? Once the loan is approved and accepted, most people get their funds the very next business day. The next day. Over 300,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards or meet their financial goals. Free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment with Upstart. See why Upstart is ranked number one in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot, and hurry up to upstart.com/kfgames to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Search your rate it only takes a few minutes and won't affect your credit. That's upstart.com/kfgames. So, Andy, you wanted to talk a little bit about what our game of the decade is. Not kind of funny necessarily, just ours.
Yeah.
I also want to do that, but I'm going to take in calls from the or people as well.
Yeah, we should do the calls, because...
Let's do calls.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Kevin, I'm looking for this GIF because I really want to.
Yeah, please send it to...
Yeah.
Are we an hour into the show already, Kev?
Well, there's
we did a pre-show.
That was with pre-show.
So
Right.
there's 40 minutes, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
do you want me to put the number up?
yeah, go ahead and put the
Are
number
there any
up.
rules you want to put up before I do that?
I will hang up on you if I don't like what you're saying.
Sure.
Wow.
And you will get
like
edited
super
out.
fast.
Yeah.
That's intense. I'm sure the first call will go smoothly.
You will get edited out, and nobody will hear from you ever.
Yeah. Don't leave voicemails. We won't hear them. So if you get in, great. Otherwise, we're here to talk about our game of the decades.
Studio phone number is up right beneath you. You guys can't see it, but it's there.
Oh,
Cool.
I see it on your end, Kevin.
Oh, all right, cool.
That ruined my plan
Give
to
us a
call in
call.
ourselves.
Let us ask us anything.
Oh, were you planning on calling the
Man, game of the
number on
day-
your
It was going to be a joke, but
end? Yeah.
now I can't.
Game of the decade. It's funny because there's so
Breath of the Wild.
much stuff, but yeah, there's some obvious ones. Yeah, Breath of the Wild. I think it would be. on
Because I saw you
everybody's list.
glancing at Polygon's list, which is a list I'm not sure I agree
Yeah.
with in a lot
I
of
went
ways.
through a bunch. Yeah, Giant Bombs. I went through somebody called Paste Magazine. I've never heard
I used to
of
write
them,
there.
actually.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, send it to you, Kevin.
There's so much stuff. Like and when you said personal, it's a good way to put it. Because like I'm like, oh dang, that's right. Minecraft came out within the decade. I'm like, if I was like critically ranking stuff, it'd be on there. My personal list, I'm like, I just didn't get into Minecraft, so it's not on my list. It would be had I played it.
Here's
that
this
makes
GIF
sense.
really quick.
Hold on. I'm gonna wait for it to restart. Oh, and we got a call.
It's okay. We can still watch the GIF in the meantime.
Howdy. You're on
so
Kind of Funny.
That's the
That's so rad.
Is this
Oh,
Bob?
kebabs.
Oh, kebabs. Okay.
And you said personal is a good way to put it.
And also,
Wait.
please lower your volume in the background.
Okay.
Just like a radio.
I'm actually on the air.
Yep, you're on.
Holy crap. I thought I'd have more time to think about it.
Oh, son of a bitch. Hang up on him.
No, I'm going to let it go. Let's
Oh, it's
My
funny. I
personal
heard the.
game of the decade would probably be Spider-Man.
Game of the decade is Spider-Man. I can agree with that. Or not necessarily agree with it. I can see it. I can see the argument for it.
Yeah.
Well,
he's
everyone
not gonna
knows-
hang up on you.
Well, everyone knows that the winner will be Breath of the Wild. Mine is Spider-Man.
I don't know. I think there's some.
Well, like most people would probably expect me to say God of War, but Spider-Man is actually the one that made me cry at the end, not God of War.
No spoilers.
I don't remember how
That's
Spider-Man
what I'm calling
ends,
that.
so I'm not sure I cried.
Spider-Man has that really cool story beat that did kind of hit me emotionally, but for the 7 hours prior to that, where I'm just kind of endlessly fighting mobs, and it's like I just want to get to the big story beat whenever that does come. So, but I could totally see an argument for Spider-Man. Yeah, very very good.
Yeah.
Game of the decade.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Thank
cool.
you for your call, Kebabs.
You're welcome.
Oh,
All right.
Hung up.
Wow,
Sorry,
just like
Kebabs.
that. You can always call back.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so-
just to say
trying to
bye.
get in.
So
Is it?
mine is definitely God of War. I mean, if you've ever heard me talk on any game show, I think God of War for me. See, we're gonna run into this problem.
It's okay.
All right, I told you guys to take the phone off the hook.
No, it's fine. I'm going to let him talk. We don't necessarily need to hear from him. Hey, what's up?
Is that a speaker?
You're on the Kind of Funny Gamescast.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, can you guys hear me? This is the nanobiologist.
Hey,
Hello,
nanobiologist.
We can hear you perfectly.
Hey, guys. Good to talk to you all.
Indeed.
I am in my room sick at Disney World right now.
Oh.
It's a
Sorry
good
to hear
excuse to talk to you guys today.
Bad funnel cakes.
Yeah.
So my question is, every year or generation, there's one gimmick feature that every game has or tries to shoehorn in. What is one feature that you loved and one that you hated
No,
that
that's not how this
one
works.
every year had? Like this year is just
Good
bad
question.
marketing decisions would be one.
All right. What? So his question was, what's one gimmick you liked and one you hated?
Got it. All right. Thank you for your call, nanobiologist.
All right. Fran, I want you to
Is that how this works?
take this off the hook.
Okay.
I want
great.
because you did all the studying.
You studied the technology.
All right,
Yes.
see you later.
Great. That's a great question, nanobiologist.
Invite him.
Yeah, I just did.
He's watching on
I
stream.
just did, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin, I listen to a lot of Lebitard show,
Oh,
right? I know how
sorry,
they
I
deal
just
with
hung up on
callers.
someone.
It's fine.
It's off the hook.
It's
Yeah.
off the hook. All right.
All right.
A gimmick that we liked and a gimmick that we hated. I'd say I probably hated rocking the baby to sleep in Death Stranding.
Oh, that was not great.
Yeah.
I shook that baby more than I wanted to.
Especially in rougher, tense moments. It especially ratcheted up the intensity of moments where I'm just like, oh, I'm already kind of, I'm feeling my back muscles really tense right now, and I just need to, you need to just shut the fuck up, baby, you know?
Sorry, I was making sure that was off the hook. What was there was someone on the line,
Rockin'
by
the
the way.
Ba-
I apologize.
Rocking the baby in Death Stranding.
It's fine. This is
Okay.
not a thing that we're caring
Yeah.
all that much about.
And that's something that was shoehorned in just to that game, you think?
I think so.
Like using the controller.
Just the whole. I mean,
Like you could use triggers if you wanted, but
not even necessarily the how you did it. It was the
having
why
to do it.
and the having it. Like I think it was neat at first, but then towards the end of a 73-hour journey,
to have to stop and like get your baby to be quiet.
Yeah.
Which I agree. Like the relationship was cool, and it developed that relationship that you actually had to care enough to stop it from crying, and that was
Yeah.
the message.
Yeah.
Debatable. I think the way the game is, like, I think it's fine. You know, there's so much weird stuff in the game.
I mean, speaking of God of War, which we'll get back to in a second, I don't think I really dug the camera is always behind you thing. Like,
Oh,
it was a very cool idea that was like, I'm amazed they executed it so well, but it also kind of made me motion sick.
oh really?
Of like
Okay.
when certain things would happen where it does adjust the camera and just Kratos very fast,
Zip
where you're
forward.
turning very fast. Like, okay, this is a little too blurry for me right now. Like if I focus on Kratos as the focal point, then it's fine.
Sure,
If I'm looking
yeah.
at the rest of the screen, I start getting a little like.
It's like
queasy.
if you spin around in a circle in a chair, but you just look at your finger the whole time, you should probably be okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that. I think the always on camera, the no cuts stuff in God of War is like probably the most perfectly executed thing
Yes.
I've ever experienced in a game where they had their vision, they stuck to it, and I think it was all for the better.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I'm just making sure. I don't hear anything.
Yeah, and
anymore,
you could see that we're like the seconds are counting.
they are, but last time somebody was on the line.
Oh,
Now
really?
it's just dead, but that's
No,
fine.
we would have heard him.
Can I chime in?
Of course, Kevin.
I've got two of them. I wanted to look at games that were a little bit older.
Go for it.
Of the decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We're still going
Not
back
too
to
much
that.
older. I just went last year.
Oh,
But,
We'll go back to
um,
God of War. After
And then
this
are we
one.
taking
but
another
I-
question
so I-
after this?
After the God of War?
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I have two of them for last year, which Red Dead Redemption, the realism, where it was like a little bit, it was too much. Where like
Red Dead 2?
yeah, Red Dead 2, where it's just like I didn't find it fun.
I don't want to have to eat.
Right, I don't want to have to worry about like my horse gonna trip on this and die, and then I have to lose a horse and get
Oh,
another
man.
one. It was too much. I
Like, can you
enjoyed
imagine if it got to the point where your character woke up with like your knee was hurting and like your character couldn't
Yeah.
walk correctly for that day?
And it's one of those things where, like, in Breath of the Wild, when your horses die, it's cool to, like, be able to go to a place and bring them back.
Horse heaven.
Yeah, 'cause- right, exactly. And then the other one that I wanted to talk about was Monster Hunter. The playing multiplayer.
Yeah,
and-
multiplayer in that game is really not great.
Monster Hunter
hold on,
World, I
hold on,
assume?
slow down. I actually love playing.
No,
with
okay.
other
I
people.
mean, playing with a friend through the story.
Yes. And it was like the having to watch the videos and like waiting for the other person to finish and then be able to join your group. It was all a bit of a hassle.
Yeah.
You could tell that was probably something that they hadn't fully tested out. And then when the day got there, they're like, "Oh, this is probably going to be a problem." This whole cutscene thing.
Because it was
where-
a thing in other Monster Hunter games where you would be in the same hunt and you just all watch the same cutscene.
yeah, yeah.
And I guess there was probably maybe some like netcode glitch or something that was causing issues. It's like, all right, screw it, we can't fix it. Let's
Yeah.
just work on it.
Probably lower on the. That's more of a convenience thing and less of a. This is going to severely ruin the game thing,
Yeah.
Guys, I mean, I saw a tweet recently about just game development in general where it was like, guys, I hate that I have to remind everybody of this, but we don't purposely put bugs in games. We don't,
Yeah.
like
We also care about the game.
games.
That is-
Games have issues and stuff like that, and when at the end of the day, there is a budget, and if a small quality of life thing sucks, but there's a bigger issue, the bigger issue is always going to get fixed first.
Right.
So the smaller things that may just kind of be little nuisances and annoying every once in a while, those always get pushed down to the priority list because the bigger issues always get covered first because that's just how
Gotta have priorities.
companies work and that's how budgets work.
Yeah,
and shit
known
like that.
shippable is the term that people use in QA
Yes.
of like, we know this is here, but we can't really fix it. We don't have
Yeah.
the time or money.
Exactly.
And
Maybe
then,
in the day one patch.
One more that I want to bring to attention that is the Division 1.
Yeah.
The scaling was terrible.
Mm.
That being said, I feel like what is the
Borderlands?
Borderlands, thank you. The
Great
scaling is
scaling.
great.
Yes.
They've fucking nailed it. Good on them.
That is
Great
by far
scaling.
like the best new addition to Borderlands
Yeah.
in 3.
Just being able to hop in and play with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy, tell me a bit more about God of War.
Yeah, I just think it's a game that did everything perfect for me. Or next to near perfect. Where a lot of other games that I've definitely enjoyed, there have always been weaker spots to it, but I think it did everything for me in terms of telling I thought a beautiful story with, awesome character moments.
Yeah.
And learning and growing to care about, these two characters that you're walking with the whole time. And even other side characters that you didn't necessarily think you would fall in love with. I think it just did a great job with narrative. But I've talked about this before. The Last of Us and Uncharted are some of my favorite games, mostly because of their narrative. But I didn't necessarily love playing them. They never felt great to me. The Last of Us, it's really, really stressful and
Right.
like it's not like the super fun combat to me, at least. So playing those games, I normally just go from cutscene to cutscene. I want to get to the next story beat. I want to get to the next part. There's definitely a lot of strategy in there and sneaking around for clickers and things like that. But with God of War, that style of combat is such my jam.
Yeah.
And I didn't care about getting to the next cutscene necessarily, even though I love the story. But the moments of exploration and the open worldness of it, to a degree, I think is just so masterfully done.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
it's one of the few games that when I beat a game, I rarely go back to it, but it's one of the few games that I went back to go, continue to try to take down the Valkyries and all that stuff. I just thought everything in terms of execution with direction and acting and characters and story and combat, everything was so like superbly done to me.
See, like, speaking of the writing, it was amazing to me that they made me care about Kratos, a character I genuinely did not like in previous games. Like, I didn't like God of War games before this, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, Kratos himself seemed like he was like the teenager's idea of what a video game protagonist is supposed to be, which I mean, a lot of us are
That's one
teenagers,
reason
so-
why I never liked Gears of War.
Yeah.
The
broy.
the big muscly bro dude that I was like, I can't connect with this guy. I don't give a shit really
Yeah.
about this franchise.
Kratos was a weird psychopath, and that was the game, was that he was an angry guy that was literally ripping wings off Icarus, and he was like getting into threesomes in a bathtub. I was like, that's not appealing to me. But then I played through God of War, the new one, and I was like, oh, there's like depth to this character that the writers understood that it was important for Kratos to understand that the old Kratos was bad. And he himself has remorse about that life.
Yeah.
So he moved on, and he's become a stronger, better person because of it. And I think that's what really attracted me to the game. It's like, okay, they get it. So this is a game for people like me who didn't like that style of writing before.
Yeah, I just think about going back and reliving those big set piece moments.
Yeah.
When you're taking down that giant dragon. I already forget the name, but it's one of the giant fights where just the way the cutscenes were interwoven with combat, and it's always the no cut camera thing, which is just super impressive to me. That's whenever you pull off gimmicks like that, it's such an easy way for me to be like, whoa, this is something that I could share with people that are not really into games and just show them this, my mind immediately goes back to, I think, like that, the end of that one True Detective episode where it was like a 9-minute no-cut scene. And like shit like that, little gimmicks like that
Like
are,
Children of Men. Or,
I think, really impressive things to pull off. But yeah, that one dragon fight where you're taking it down, you end up sliding down, and then like Kratos lands and the dragon falls behind you, and its mouth is open, and you're kind of in the opening of where the mouth would be, and just things that they made everything so grand. That there's that one area with the dead giant in the ground, that it's so cool whenever you see things of scale put to such a good use.
Yeah. It reminds you you're still tiny in a world of like literal giants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
masterful is the word for that game. Yeah, it's almost certainly my game of the decade. It's just like you said, my jam. I love all of those elements, but it does everything so well. And you don't see many games that are able to, not only just take an idea like, oh, it's going to be a no-cut camera that follows you the whole time. Like, okay, cool. Like, what's that mean for the gameplay? As it turns out, it does make it very intimate and interesting, and you're following him through the whole story. But anyway, the RPG elements, the combat, the way you can fight is, you can change up your combat so much. But then the sense of exploration, which I always love in games, I think that's what you guys probably hear the most from me is I always like the journey of discovery and then that feeling of power you get. And that is, for me, why I play games and why I got hooked on them in the first place, and why, Zelda, when you first get the sword and then you get the bomb, and that's always appealed to me. And it takes all of those classic things, but it just does everything so masterfully. And like boss fights as well. Like boss fights are so hard to do, but I don't remember ever encountering like a boss and feeling like, wow, that boss was like, like it would be easy to be like, oh,
there's not a whole lot of bosses. There was a couple of times in that game where I was
enemies.
Like, but I mean, like,
just like the ogres, I feel like a boss.
Particularly, God, what was the place called?
The named ogres, right?
Hades, where you're just like, oh, this is just the ogre again.
Yeah, that's the only drawback that I have for this game, and it's such a minor complaint for me. But I do think that if there was more enemy variety, that it would be be a 15 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
When really it's just a 13 out of 10 for me, right?
Exactly.
It starts so strong with the battle against a stranger, and it sets a tone of like, oh, these boss fights are going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah, but
and there's like a couple of those that are still like the dragon you mentioned.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I was like, I could have done a fewer ogres in general.
Yeah, but the combat, there are quite a bit of different enemies, and even if there's iterations on them, like meaning
That's what I mean, just iterations.
Yeah, you do get into a lot
of them are color
combat.
swaps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like there was that one cave, I guess, that was like it had two giants or two ogres, and they're just like differently colored.
Sure.
Like, okay.
You get into. I really enjoyed fighting them actually, though, and I feel like
the Valkyries. I think they should have replaced not made the Valkyries optional. They should have been part of the
put
main
them in the
story.
middle of it.
Yeah.
To go back to Kebab's recommendation
it's
or selection, I think I think Breath of the Wild is totally should be on that list somewhere at least. It's a close one for me as well.
Definitely.
And with how God of War was so good with its no-cut camera, the gimmick for me in Breath of the Wild that really shines is its systems, and I think it's an engineering fucking like masterpiece where how every system is interwoven. How if it rains, it puts out the fire. If it's hot outside and you pull out the fire arrow, you explode. If you're near water, you shoot electricity. Like everything works the way
all the physics.
Everything is just so logical in that game. And to me, again, I was only in game development for like 3 years, but when I was in it, like the amount of work that I know went into developing all these systems to work with, against, and for each other it's a fucking achievement.
Yeah, I was thinking the other day about a time like I was lost in a storm, Breath of the Wild, and like I got surrounded by those drone guardians, the ones that like fly around. I was like, I can't do this right now. I'm gonna have to either run or like fight my way out, and I got cornered. So what I ended up doing is I threw one of my swords because it was like a thunderstorm, so like it was going to hit me anyway, like the lightning if I had that sword out.
Yeah, like you couldn't keep it on you anyway.
Yeah, so I took the magnet, pushed that sword against the drones, and just let the lightning strike them.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I can't fucking believe that worked, but it got my way out of it. Yeah.
That's really cool.
All right.
Yeah. It is amazing like how differently you can play that game.
It's also like
so you gotta hang it up to take another call, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that there's a game where like the cooking mechanic and like the carrying foods and like thinking about like, oh, what foods do I want to have in my bag for what I want to do? It made me think in a different way that I hadn't done before.
You might like Death Stranding then, Kevin. Did you play Death Stranding?
Oh, I really like Death Stranding.
There it is.
Fran.
Same
like
system.
it.
What do I need to bring with me?
All right. What's up? Okay.
Yeah. It was bound to happen.
Nothing.
I'm sure something else on the list that people will mention. Like
New voicemail. Fuck you.
I'm trying to think of other big.
Told you not to leave a
I
message.
told you.
I'm trying to think of other big titles that we could think of.
Oh, so what do you guys think of Portal 2?
To
throw Portal 2
here's
out
my
there.
problem with the Portal games.
Okay.
I just never really played them.
Oh, well,
Because-
that will be a problem in rating
Because
them.
I hate puzzle games. I'm
They're so much fun.
Yeah.
I get so frustrated
Portal's
easily,
so cool.
and I don't think outside of the box. And puzzle game, like when people talk about The Witness, when people talk about Portal, those are games that I've seen Let's Plays of, and I enjoy them, and I think they're awesome. But playing them myself, I'm an idiot.
Witness is way more puzzly than Portal.
What's up?
Portal's a lot, just mostly
Hey,
logic.
DJ Kento.
DJ
Hey,
Kento.
DJ Kanto.
I wanted to say my game of the year, or game of the decade, is undoubtedly Skyrim.
Oh,
Wow.
That is a decade
The
game.
amount
Yeah.
of people still playing Skyrim is unbelievable. Even last year.
Well,
like,
they keep releasing it on
were
shit.
playing it.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
When was Skyrim? 2011?
2011. Yeah.
2011.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Kento, what drew you to Skyrim over everything else? Like, what is it about the game that stands above all these other heavy hitters?
I think every other heavy hitter has some inspiration from Skyrim. Like its systems, its mechanics,
Zelda
its
did.
world.
Breath of the Wild did. Yeah.
Yeah, everything I feel like of the past decade falls back to that at some point, or got some inspiration from that. And the fact that like last year, there was a report on GameIndustry.biz where they like checked, and 50,000 players were still playing it at one time on Steam alone. So if you extrapolate that to every other system it was played on or sold to, like it's unbelievable what kind of an impact that had.
That's true.
That's cool.
It's a good
Yeah.
choice,
All right.
yeah.
Great
Thanks
point.
thanks for calling in.
Thanks, Kento.
Yeah, it worked.
I will is the
What's that do?
we hung
I
up
hit
on it?
pause, but
I think you should just you got to hit back. That's
Yeah, just hang up and then open up the line so
yeah.
that no other calls come in.
Or are we taking more or no?
we will in a
There might
bit.
be
Yeah, we
someone
will in a
on
bit.
Hey, just let me know
Okay.
so I can. put
It's
the
offline
thing
right
on.
now.
Yeah,
We're
we'll go in a
Last
bit.
time
Okay.
I did that, there was someone on there though. That's why I checked.
I think Grand Theft Auto 5 is one to put on that list where
Yeah.
that game just never stops.
But I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like, and I get what you're saying with the you're talking about like the multiplayer online aspect, right? Grand Theft Auto 5 online.
It also it sells 5 million copies every fucking
Yeah,
year.
yeah. But I just want to I feel like San Andreas was like the first one of the for the decade conversation.
It wasn't this decade.
Huh?
San Andreas was not this decade.
Oh
no.
shit! I have no. All right, my bad.
San Andreas is like 2005. right?
Really?
I think.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay, never mind. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah. All good.
Yeah, there's only 2 Rockstar games this entire decade, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait,
crazy.
hold on. Let me double check that because I want to
Yeah,
make sure.
no, because Grand Theft Auto 4 was like 2008. That's when I first moved to Austin. 2007 maybe.
I'm looking at Red Dead Redemption 1.
Oh, Red Dead 1 was 2011 or 2010.
Okay, so that would count. So 3 Rockstar games this generation, or not this
Yeah.
decade.
I think Red Dead 1 is absolutely a game that could be put on that list.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely,
I like it a lot more than 2,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I put so many hours into that game too.
I think the person who enjoys who enjoys technology a lot, as somebody who, I worked in graphics and stuff like that, and somebody who enjoys visual fidelity, I'd probably say I'd enjoy part 2 more, just because I feel
Yeah.
like it's really similar to part 1.
It's a much bigger accomplishment, for sure.
For sure, yeah. And, just seeing that gameplay, again, it runs in 4K on Xbox One X, which I think was like such a technical achievement, and it's gorgeous, and the HDR is beautiful, and the environments are awesome, and everything just sort of feels real in that
Right.
game.
If that game, Red Dead Redemption 2, if it took 1 or 2 steps back from the realism, like Kevin mentioned, that you're going for, I would enjoy it a lot more.
Sure.
I think if you had all that stuff, but with Red Dead Redemption 1's systems and mechanics,
Yeah.
I would love it.
Yeah.
It's just that one little, just a bit too far for me.
Yeah.
Let me-
Red Dead 1 is absolutely on that list. I think I'd assume the first BioShock would be on everybody's lists.
2008.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, shit. Then you know what? I'll go Infinite. Because Infinite is a game that when it comes to BioShock 1 and 2, I never played 2. And the first now we're just going to talk about which BioShock is the best BioShock. But the first BioShock is a game that I half experienced with a lot of friends in the room that were talking and just shooting the shit. So I never fully got enveloped in that story. I don't remember anything about that game. And I think there's sort of this Mandela effect with me where I convinced myself that I beat it, but now that I think of it, I don't think I ever beat the first BioShock.
You would remember if you beat it, because that last boss is pretty fucking disappointing.
Okay, yeah. I just don't think I don't think I beat it.
kindly wait to talk about this till I
But BioShock Infinite is a game that that when I beat it,
Oh yeah, I like
I was dating a girl at the time, and I was at her apartment, and she had watched the first 5 hours to 10 hours of me playing the game, and she kind of got disinterested and walked. But when I beat it, I needed to talk to somebody about it, and I needed to just sort of unwrap my feelings and my emotions and what my brain process was what my mind was going through at the time. And I remember looking up, and I looked up. I think I just Googled BioShock Infinite, and I was looking for essays on it just to kind of have somebody else there with me to talk to, even though they wouldn't respond. And at the time, Cliff Bleszinski had written an essay on it because he had just beaten it.
Mm-hmm.
And he, too, was like, I got to fucking talk about this game because I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so cool seeing somebody else going through the exact same thing, except this is the guy that created Gears of War, and him being like, wow, I need to just type on a computer for about 2 hours and just let everybody know how I feel.
Right.
And I just thought that game was awesome. And it did the same thing for me where I love those big Christopher Nolan twists. And I love those moments of whenever a game can sort of convey the feeling of what is real, what just happened. I love that shit. I'm a sucker for moments like that in movies and in games. And I think BioShock Infinite did that for me.
Yeah, I really like BioShock Infinite. I remember hearing some people being like, "Yeah, I didn't really like it." I was
That's
like,
kind of
really?
me. I'm
Yeah, it never
I like it.
resonated.
I liked it a
really
lot
like
at the
it.
time.
Yeah.
Then as I got through the year, I'm like, there are parts of this. There's a tiny middle portion of that game I think could have been entirely excised. Like, once you get to the ghost stuff, like this is not great. And then like the stuff with the rebel leader, and it goes a little both
Pacing-wise,
sidesy.
for sure, but overall, though, I still thought it was just such a great experience.
If I think about BioShock Infinite as that beginning with Elizabeth, parts occasionally like gliding across the handrails and all that, and the ending, I really like that game.
Yeah.
But when I start thinking about the parts I don't like, I'm like, this brings it down a bit for me.
Sure, but I do think what gives it a higher grade for me and why I think of it so highly is because I think it's so hard for a video game to end really well.
Yes.
And I
for
think
sure.
that game just executed it so perfectly for me, where, again, it was the top spinning moment at the end of Inception. Like, I know Inception is kind of a movie that it's some people shit on because it's kind of like this faux intellectual movie. For me, I love that top spinning moment. I love whenever movies do that shit, and when that ending happened in BioShock Infinite, I was pretty blown away by it.
Yeah.
It's funny because I beat it, and I'm like, you mentioned the ghost room, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I better go back and play this thing. I really enjoyed it. I only remember there's something with the lighthouse. I don't remember the
That's
end
the thing.
now. I gotta go back.
You tend to remember the best parts of that game.
We'll talk about it off stream.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
I almost
who might
don't
play.
want you. I almost want to just go back and play it.
But yeah,
I'll never have the time.
so 2013, whenever I think about Game of the Year 2013, like I'd put BioShock Infinite over The Last of Us 2, or The Last of Us 1, because I thought they both did awesome stuff story-wise, but I just enjoyed the gameplay of sliding across those handrails, using my different powers to do different things to big enemies, small enemies. I enjoy that a lot. I enjoy that sort of gameplay more than this sort of brutal stealth that Last of Us has.
Yeah.
Let me throw out a possibly weird choice. Saints Row the Third.
Never played it.
Never played it.
Neither of you played it? It is, I think, that is where
heard good things.
that like open world crime game, like that is the pinnacle for me. Like there is so much smart design in that game between like the very inventive mini games, they figured out at some point we're not going to beat GTA. Like we don't have the money, the budget, like
We
whatever.
have to do our own sort of version of that. You know?
So they made a comedy game with like just a bunch of connected set pieces in an open world, and it worked out far better than you would think it ever should. So like when I think about that game, the moment I think about is you decide you need a penthouse for your crime syndicate. So there's some teenager owns a penthouse up at the top of this building. They're partying right now. Let's just fucking go there and take it over. So you drop in from a helicopter as Power by Kanye West is playing, and then go there and just shoot it up. It's like, holy shit, this is like, it's not only well designed, it is extremely well paced in a way that most open world games are not.
What year did that come
Game
out?
of the
2011.
decade.
I would
choice.
like to
I
think.
feel like you're just naming great games of the decade.
Yeah, no, that's
Is
totally
that
what
an
we're doing.
actual, yeah, well,
Not naturally game of the decade, but it's
shouldn't
on
it
that
be,
list.
like in your top, like.
It is absolutely in my top 10.
Okay, just
Wow,
make it.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
what I wanted. I was fishing for.
I want to go back.
Really?
I would
Kinda
love to
shocked by
go
that.
back to those meeting and contract rooms where Kanye is allowing his song to be in a video game. Like, I want to know how much he knew about the game. Like, did he,
Yeah.
No.
I feel like that's you pay a licensing
licensing.
fee.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he asks a few questions, but I'm sure they're short.
There was
I don't
an-
think he even sits down in a meeting, right? It's not like that.
There was
I
an-
want to imagine he does that.
He comes in and meets
Where
with the
he's like,
Saints Row
well,
development
he's
team.
like, well, what are the combat mechanics? he wants
like,
to approve it
well,
first.
I mean-
how's like the save system?
Were either of you at that E3 where Kanye was there?
No, that was where he showed the game with his mom, right?
No, there was just one where he was just on the floor and
3
he was
years
going
ago.
to meetings. Yeah.
3-ish.
Yeah.
Years ago, something like that.
So I forget what game it was, but I was in a meeting for something, and it's like, "Hey guys, I know we said we're gonna start here. I'm really sorry, but we have a special guest. So once he gets here, we'll start the demo reel. Might have been Last Guardian, I don't know, but then we waited, I think, like 20 minutes, and then somebody comes in." Like whispers into the demoer's ear. The demoer looks more despondent than I've ever seen anyone look.
Oh, no.
Like literally head hanging, is like, Kanye's not coming. It's like, okay, cool. We're all 20 minutes late. Just fucking start the demo.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
All right, let's do another.
Yeah, we can take another call.
Let's go for
Yeah,
it.
put the number up.
Go for it.
Try and-
I want to throw out for my game of the decade.
Mhm.
I think that Odyssey, not
Super
Mario,
Mario?
no,
Assassin's
not
Creed?
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh.
Like I did not expect. Like I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed. Oh,
Yeah.
Let's go.
There's the pick. It's
We'll
a
go
good
back
one.
to you, go.
What's up?
Welcome to
I didn't
Gamescast.
understand what was going on for this, but to talk about Game of the Decade, you have to mention Final Fantasy 14 and their huge comeback
Yeah.
from their really shitty launch.
That's
and
fair.
Rainbow
Yeah.
Six Siege taking Ubi games from being an Ubi game to being something that people look forward to finally, and how they keep on continuing those games.
This is you, Nano, right?
Yeah, this is me.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Look at you.
Recognize
voice
voices.
tone.
Yeah.
Well, he was just here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14. It is. I would argue it's probably the MMORPG right now, like in a genre that is mostly dead. Like it's.
Yeah, I mean, they've revitalized how classes work. They basically changed up how MMOs should be and raised the bar to be at the modern level.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. I
I've
could
been wanting
definitely
to play
see
that
it.
forever.
Yeah, I need to get into it. I keep telling myself I will, and then not actually doing it. Maybe once I get bored of Borderlands. All right, awesome. Thanks, Nano.
Thank you.
I love its redemption for sure. You know, when games start off rough, but there's so much promise behind them, and then they find the success that I think when I think of
Yeah,
No
like
Man's
No Man's
Sky,
Sky.
Right.
I love good stories like that. You know, where I think when publishers put faith in developers.
It's fine. There was a ring.
When
We're
publishers
good.
put faith in developers to right the ship,
Yeah.
I think that's such a good sort of signal to the rest of the gaming industry.
So you're
Yeah.
behind
It's
Anthem
like-
2.0.
Sure, I probably won't play it, but yeah.
It's like how Nano mentioned, like they out Ubisoft at Ubisoft, and Ubisoft does that kind of thing all the time. Of this game didn't launch well, maybe we can just fix it, and then it becomes like a huge fucking thing.
Yeah, I think the Rainbow Six Siege is kind of the same. You know, it kind of debuted, you know, pretty
Was it-
lukewarm.
Mm-hmm.
And
But was
it's-
it broken?
Siege?
It was not like
it was very
well-liked.
like
It wasn't
limited
well
scope.
liked,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
It was
But
just very limited scope.
I just mean that, you know, when publishers don't give up on games and allow their developers to really see the full potential of what
Yeah.
a title could be, I love shit like that. And I
Yeah.
think that's what helps out the industry a lot, where, you know, bigger publishers need to put more faith in their developers,
Yeah,
and not give up so easily, and understand that it's fucking hard, you know.
Yeah, and like iterating on stuff takes a very long time, and you got to work with the community. And like I've been wanting to throw Destiny out there, you know,
Oh, yeah.
1 and 2, which has influenced a ton of games. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Which
You
one
can
do you
love,
think is the better
love
game?
and hate the ups and downs, but Destiny is a behemoth in terms of what it's done and how it's influenced. And certainly for me, like I've spent now whatever 3,500 hours or 4,000, like a ridiculous amount of. I guess it's probably closer to 3,000. But it's a lot.
That's a
Between
lot.
Destiny 1 and 2. Yeah, I
That's
played Destiny
3 times
1.
the most hours I've ever put into a game.
I know. Yeah, I played Destiny 1 like about 2,000 hours, and then now whatever Destiny 2 is. You can go to wastedondestiny.com and find out. It's crazy. But
I would put
anyway.
maybe Mass Effect 3 on the list. Even
3
though,
over 2?
Speaking of
well, 'cause it's not a
sticking with
decade.
stuff.
Oh, that's
that
true.
You might have
mostly
to fix
just
up.
mostly just because I love Mass Effect.
Yeah.
But I don't. I
Chilling.
don't love the way the game ended. Obviously, you've heard why. I don't want to fucking beat a dead horse, right? But I think that game had incredible story moments for me that I still remember. That I still think about a lot.
Would you pick? You would pick 3 over 2 though?
Well,
again,
2 was
that's the decade.
2009.
No, really?
2 was 2009.
I thought it was 2010.
No,
Okay.
I was.
It was right on the.
The
I had
PS3
January
version
2010,
might have been
but yeah, maybe it was at the. It would make sense. It was the end of 2009.
I believe it was. I might be,
Yeah, it was something like that. I had just moved out of
I
my
saw-
one
yeah.
bedroom. Yeah, I always put my place. I always put my my mind in like, where was I in community college, or had
I
started
have to
at the
think about
Arts?
where was I sitting when I
Yeah.
played
I
that
always
game.
look it up. I don't know. I'm
Oh,
seeing
2010.
Well, I don't
Oh,
know. Wait, yeah, that's what I saw in the first place. But you guys have me tripping now.
Oh
so-
yeah, January. Wait, what?
You sure it didn't get delayed?
January 2010
It is a
sounds right.
2010 game. See?
Yeah.
I told you.
Okay, so yeah,
So
we're-
the question stands: was 3 or 2?
I would pick 2.
I would put
Yeah,
2
yeah.
over 3. Yeah,
2 was just better
Exactly.
written. Like,
yeah, 2 was better written. 2 had all of the.
It's more cohesive across the board.
I still think about those companion missions. I think those are those companion quests are still so important to building good character arcs in video games. You know.
I remember dragging my PC with me on vacation because I could not stop playing Mass Effect 2.
Well,
I was like, this is a terrible idea, but what else am I going to do?
Mass Effect 2 is what made me love the franchise.
Yes.
Because when 1 came out, I thought it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and I gave up on it pretty quickly. But then when Part 2 was about to come out, I said, you know what? I should probably beat Part 1. And I played Part 1, and I fucking loved it. And then I played Part 2. I was like, this is even better.
Yeah.
You know, like
2 just upgrades
it
so
just
much.
it,
about it.
it's sort of
It changed some focus, which I didn't necessarily like, but it's an objectively better game for sure.
yeah. I just think all those story moments were really well done, and I still think about. I say companion. I meant loyalty missions. It just that word just now hit me, but I think about how cool the Jacob's loyalty mission is, where you go to the planet to look for his father, and his father's fucking crazy. You know,
Yeah.
like so Jack's loyalty mission. All that stuff is just so well done, and everybody was so different. You know, and you find your favorites, you find your companions, and you know, for me it was Garrus and Liara, and then it was Garrus and Thane. You know, I just loved Thane's arc. He was so awesome.
Yeah. I'm going to throw out Dark Souls,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
which is, I think...
Glad you did.
Changed
Yeah.
video games.
Changed video, like a tiny little studio in Japan that used to just make not garbage, but very like overlooked mediocre games. Basically, like Star
dare you
Wars is
talk about
copying
Armored
them at
Core
this
that
point.
way.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so influential. It's funny. Like I was going through and I was like, well, I still have to finish Sekiro, but I never took the time to get into Dark Souls after Demon Souls and everything. But I know, Dark Souls 3 and just Dark Souls period
Yeah.
is crazy, the influence. So, I mean that's got to be in a lot of people's top 10s.
even remove it from the influence, like just so parts of that game are so well done in a way that like
Well-
details that games don't get right all the time. Like every enemy in Dark Souls, if they're there, there's a reason, both gameplay wise and lore wise. So if an enemy's in a weird place, there's usually like some internal explanation you make in your head of like, wait, why would this enemy be down here? Then you look around like, oh, there's a shortcut from this place to this place. So that's probably how the enemy got down here. Like when I was talking about Jedi Fallen Order, like sometimes I feel like there's kind of haphazard
definitely.
placement of enemies. Dark Souls, like From Software, gets it so right
Yeah.
in a way that I wish everyone would actually they would put more consideration into their games in placement like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think they would have wanted to. It's funny. That's what I said about Fallen Order. It's absolutely about combat, but it was about exploration and the gaining the power more than meaning the refinement of combat. And yeah, Dark Souls and Sekiro is just incredible.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's such a different game, even though the core combat idea is the same. When you apply the refinement and the focus on combat, like that's what Dark Souls and Sekiro and everything's about. Where Fallen Order, you can have fun with all that stuff, But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel that's why sometimes you just see like a group of 12 enemies and you're like, it's a little disorganized, but I'm just gonna beat the crap out of them. Where I don't think Dark Souls does that really,
No,
right?
you have to-
It's very
Everything has to be very carefully
one-on-one,
considered.
maybe 1-on-2, so to speak. You're very calculated fights at all
If I'm
times.
taking on 2 people in Dark Souls, then I'm extremely confident.
Yeah, exactly. So otherwise you get to lure them away. But that's got to be in so many top 10s.
Damn, we were supposed to talk about Game Awards show.
Were we supposed to? Because
kinda-
it wasn't on the show.
we did
I
a
thought it
Games
was a good
Daily.
idea.
You did it on Games Daily?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I just
so
want,
we
let
still
me say
have-
my piece about Game
Go
Awards.
for it.
Let me say my piece about Game Awards.
Because we still have a show before.
Yeah.
It'll be up.
Sure, yeah.
Next-
well, I just
next
don't know
week's
what
show.
I'll be doing.
Yeah. That's very
We might be doing.
Everybody
that live,
wants to
who
know
knows?
what the number one game journalist thinks about the Game Awards, guys. You know, everybody you put that out on IGN and all those websites, Kevin. Okay. I think if Apex Legends released last month, it would absolutely be on the Game Awards list. I think Apex Legends changed the way first-person shooters are looked at and influenced and will influence a lot of future first-person shooter games. I think it changed the genre. I think it's the best feeling first-person shooter I've played.
Oh, it feels awesome.
The pinging system, the contextual pinging of items and enemies and places. I think, again, when I'm playing Overwatch, I'm just like, fuck, I wish I could ping where an enemy is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That always sort of comes back to me. I think it's recency bias. I think it came out in February, and it had enough trouble. It had enough time passed to where the game could hit a down moment.
Yeah, games and service kind of suffer from that because like, it's either what have you done for me lately, or I remember having negative feelings at some point about this.
Yes. And I think had the game, again, come out last month, it would still be riding a high, and we would still be talking about how, oh my God, EA and Respawn released a free-to-play Battle Royale, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Holy shit, how is this possible? This is crazy. We'd still be on this high, because when it came out, everybody was talking about it, and everybody was playing it, and it was the number one thing on Twitch. But again, it came out in February or whatever, and it had enough time to hit those valleys, right?
Yeah.
Those valleys of the controversy with the developers. It had enough time to hit the controversy or
Loot boxes.
the loot
Yeah.
boxes. Where's the content? They haven't given us anything new. With Fortnite being always on a high, and Fortnite always, again, overworking workers, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of crunch there. But to consumers, they see, holy shit, there's always a new thing every several weeks, and Apex hit that valley. But if the game came out recently, we wouldn't be talking about any of that because it'd be brand new and cool to us.
I think they did a phenomenal job with Apex. I would challenge that a little bit, though, in that I'd love to know what you think it did for first-person shooters. I mean, it's great. It feels great. But beyond the pinging system, like, I mean,
I think
what did it do
I think the running and sliding is something that every game should have.
Yeah.
I think when I think back of other console battle royale games, that is still the best one in my opinion. Where PUBG came out and it was on Xbox for a while, and I thought it felt like garbage. And
Yeah.
it felt really, really bad. This was the first-person battle royale experience that wasn't Fortnite that came out on a console where everybody said, "Holy shit! Oh, this is what everybody's all jacked up about."
yeah.
You know,
And I agree. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. But you talked about like the genre as a whole, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's used all of the tricks that. I mean, that's a company that's been making Call of Duty and modern.
Yeah, I think I think movement-wise,
it brought it all together so nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The mobility is amazing in that game.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like you're wrong about that. I was just saying that like I would challenge the idea that it would belong on Game of the Year had it just launched. And I say that because it was like one map, limited, things to choose from, free to play. Great start, feels amazing, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's a recency thing. I think if you look at the panel and what they chose for Game of the Year, because Fortnite wouldn't be on here either, I don't think, had Fortnite just hit its stride 2 months ago. Using the same example, I don't think they would have put Fortnite on Game of the Year either.
Really?
I'm only saying that only because like if you look at the panel of games, like it's so towards like what we see in God of War of this like breadth of story and gameplay design that's fresh and
I'd replace Smash Bros with Apex Legends, 1,000%.
Oh, it's funny.
Like-
Smash Bros being on here, fair enough. I don't know why that one made it versus everything else. No, although I love Smash
Because they put it
Bros.
in the email for nominations.
But Yeah, like
They're like, by the way, Smash Brothers is
Well,
eligible this year,
And that was
which
what
reminded people that Smash Brothers is out and
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting it like where the panel looks at stuff. Yeah, like normally you see them lean into stuff like just Sekiro, Resident Evil, Control. Death Stranding,
So
you
to
know.
me, this Apex Legends of this year was the Overwatch of 3 years ago, or 2 or whatever it was, where it was the multiplayer game that sort of showed people that people still play a lot of. The casual fan can still be really, really into an online shooter, and also it's free, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's the Overwatch of several years ago that everybody played, and I thought it caught the games industry kind of by storm.
Yeah,
for
it
that really short moment, but still it was really important.
Yeah, it is the best free-to-play shooter launch I've ever seen. Meaning it was so smooth, despite minor things here and there. But I was like, I couldn't believe it was free.
Yeah.
It definitely had that appeal to me.
But again,
I love Apex Legends. It's
Again,
awesome.
I think it's just the first thing when it comes out and we say, "Holy shit, EA allowed this." It's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
Fortnite was best ongoing game last year. Was not game of the year. So you're right.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Well, because Fortnite was the similar thing to when Fortnite launched. It wasn't the big hit until the following year. I remember those discussions of like, does it?
No,
get
but
game of
last
the
year
year?
it would have been. Last year would have been the time it had already started getting huge.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was already getting very big at the end.
But
of,
it was out before that.
20.
It was out the
17.
It came out
2017.
summer 2017. Then Battle Royale came that end of that
September.
year.
So the game came out. What was it? April or May or
Ju-
Fortnite in general.
Fortnite Save the World came out
Yeah.
July. July.
Yeah, maybe it was
July 2017.
Okay,
I remember because I was at
you're
the Game
right, it
Informer
was.
office.
And then in September is when Fortnite Battle Royale came out. But
Yeah.
And
it was ticking already a lot by the end of 2017. But 2018 is when it just blew up. And then March of 2018 is the Drake moment with Ninja. And that's when it
Yeah.
was really hitting its like insane heights. But
I also think Outer Wilds should be on the Game of the Year list.
Yes.
Because
It's
to
on
me,
best direction, but not best game, which is a weird.
Yeah, I think that it should have been the Celeste of this year, because I feel like every year you got to have at least one indie on Game of the Year just to kind of cover everything.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think Outer Wilds should have been that game where it's my Game of the Year. No other game has made me feel the way that game has made me feel.
I think they had bad luck with both of the Outer Worlds thing.
Sure.
But also, I think it came out at a bad time.
yeah, I was gonna say
So, like,
that one. I think more so from the recency side of stuff. Like it was summer actually.
I
so
want to
not
say it
that
was
long
around
ago.
E3. So,
But
like, when you get a bunch of people who have to be at E3 to do the nominations,
Yeah.
it's just harder to get, like, those games as part of the conversation.
Yeah, maybe it. You're right. It's we always speculate the whys. Like who knows why? Ultimately, it's because of the panel. The panel just has its tastes, and that's what
Yeah.
made it. But meaning Resident Evil 2 was like back in February something, right? I mean that made
January,
it. So it's not a recency thing.
But that's
necessarily,
also Resident Evil to me.
So, yeah, like
You
that
know,
stands out so easily. But
Yeah.
actually, I kind of wonder, to Imran's point, had Outer Wilds released earlier and given people more time to play it, maybe it would have ended up on the list. Like
Yeah.
inverse to
You never know.
it
Sometimes,
releasing
like-
right now because there's just too much going on. And what I'm getting at is people who are playing like Fallen Order and all these other games, Outer Worlds and Outer Wilds. They may not have gotten.
I was
to.
extremely happy to just see the internet be as positive as I was when I beat it, and seeing Danny O'Dwyer and Mike Mahardy and just other people from GameSpot or IGN tweeting out about, holy shit, you all need to play this game because
Yeah.
again, I just think
I think I saw Schreier say it was his game of the year.
it's such a weird, unique thing. A lot of people have complained about. I don't want to say complain. It sounds like whining or whatever. A lot of people have had issues with like controlling of the
the
spaceship.
spaceship.
I didn't have any issues, but again, I'm really good at games.
Takes a while.
Super good at games.
All right, how about we take one more phone call?
Let's do one more phone call. Locked and loaded, baby.
Yeah.
I love it.
You like that, right?
It's really good. Yeah. I'm a fan.
Oh, I did that. You like that. It's just so perfect.
All right, we got another call coming through. Perhaps we'll see.
Maybe everyone's given up.
Yeah, I
on
mean,
us.
Outer Wilds reviewed really well though. So
Yeah, it did. I'm going to play it before we do our game of the year stuff for sure.
Oh my god, I can't like. It's a game that I had to look online for a decent amount of help because it's very
Yeah.
puzzly and my brain doesn't work that way. But Holy shit, man! Those moments, it's like watching Interstellar in a goddamn IMAX. You know what I mean? Like those moments of grandiose. Holy shit!
Oh, totally.
What's up?
Hey, this is Andrew in Marietta, Georgia.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
Hey guys, how's it going?
You're on Kind of Funny Gamescast live with Imran,
What
Fran,
can we
and
do for you?
Hey, so I've been we've talked about the games of the past decade. I kind of wanted to go in a different direction. We have 4 or 5 major first-party PlayStation games that we know about that are coming, being Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, Spider-Man 2, God of War 2. When do you guys think those are coming? What's like, if you could say this is coming in fall 2020, 2021, what do you think the order of those coming out in? And going forward, what are you looking most forward to?
Great question.
Yeah, I would guess personally. I'm gonna hang up on you. No problem. Or
Thanks.
Yeah,
nothing
guys.
personal.
I'm
Listen
listening to you
live.
guys
Thank
on
you.
my phone and also calling on my phone, so I'm gonna hop back over.
All right,
All
sounds
right.
good.
I think I have like this sort of conspiracy theory about Ghost of Tsushima that they may have. This is just total speculation, but I think that game may have undergone kind of a rethinking on what it is. And I wonder if it would have come out sooner, but then they said, you know what, maybe this should be a Soulsborne game, or vice versa. Maybe
Yeah.
it was, and they wanted to change the sort of vibe of it.
Because they've been working on it since Second Sun Wrapped, which was 2014.
Yeah, I feel that sounds about right.
So they've had a long time to be on it, and they've only showed it it was E3 last year. Was the only time we've actually seen it. So whatever they're working on has either undergone some monumental changes, or they intend to fill it with a bunch of shit.
Or
Can't go far right now. Ask him.
Or maybe I think, or it got to a point where they said, should we, do we up the tech on this because it will be a PS5 release? You know what I mean? Like, I want to think that initially it was intended to be a PS4 thing.
They've reiterated PS4 again recently, so
Okay.
I'd assume it's still like aiming for that. I'm sure there'll be a PS5 version for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's a full iteration. I think that Sony's just been spending time on these big games that are first party. Like, meaning they've learned the lesson to not rush it out, but they also have pretty big catalogs. So meaning like what, last year you had Spider-Man, amongst many other things, and it was like, we don't really need Ghost of Tsushima then.
I mean,
you didn't need it.
That's
And
supposedly why it's not
you
coming
don't
out
really
anytime
need it
soon.
next year. And this year they have Death
Well-
Stranding, and like, so to speak. I mean, you always want.
From a Schreier report, I think it was supposed to come out around summer of next year, but with Last of Us being pushed back,
Yep.
it's pushing Ghost of Tsushima back as well because you can't put both
Sure.
those games at the same time.
Yep. But that's
So-
for next year.
Yeah.
Right? So meaning to me, it's in other words, I don't know that they did full iteration changes so much as like they've just been spending their time, I think, to get it right. And I'm sure God of War went through the same thing. Like
God of War, I
don't
think,
recall
like-
hearing when
No,
it was
they did.
supposed. Yeah, there you go.
Yoshito played it. He's like, this game is bad.
Whoops.
So they basically rejiggered it until it worked.
Yeah, like I feel like they're
I
just
love how
giving,
you're checking every time.
No, I accidentally hung up on it or called 911. I wanted to make sure I just didn't do that. But just maybe I'm just playing contrarian, but I feel like if you look at the catalog of their really good games, they're taking definitely 3 to 5 years. So it's not that
that's
unusual.
that's Ghost of Tsushima. Horizon Zero Dawn, I think, might be a launch title.
We're all hoping for that, right? Because we don't really know anything about it.
Do they call it Horizon Zero Dawn 2, Horizon 2, Horizon other subtitle?
Forza Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, Forza Horizon Zero Dawn.
Blow
where you
your
just-
minds. Horizon
Dawn.
Zero Dusk.
Wow.
Actually,
Wow.
You see what I did
Holy
there?
shit.
You like that, don't you?
I love that.
wait, Horizon Outer Woods.
Yeah.
Outer Woods.
The Outer Horizons. So you think that's a winter?
I think that's probably what they're aiming for.
Skylines.
Because
Zero Dusk.
what is a better game to show off the PS5 than like a new
The
Horizon
Decima
game?
2.0.
Decima 2.0,
Yeah.
all that jazz.
For sure.
Man, I just think that's super soon.
It is.
Like,
it's a year from now, so
for a game of how.
Well, wouldn't that have been 3 years though?
2017 to
Yeah, it would be
2020.
3 years.
Yeah.
It actually adds up. But that would.
That game came out
I'd
a
be
month.
shocked if it happened. But
It came out a
awesome.
month before Breath of the Wild. We've already seen Breath of the Wild 2 as an existing product,
Sure.
so I would not be shocked to see
But
Zero Dawn was on the same time.
But Breath of the Wild 2 is
based on the same stuff, yeah.
yeah. That's my only caveat with that. Where when I think was Breath of the Wild 2 a question from? Oh no, he was only asking about Sony first parties. Yeah, when I think Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is maybe like early 2021.
See, it's so close.
Like
for a
the
launch there.
infamous kind of place.
Yeah.
Like, I
well,
can
where
see it.
Horizon Zero Dawn launched, like it launched in February, didn't it?
It launched in February, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I remember, Infamous was supposed to be not a launch title, but launch window, and it was 3 months after the PS4 came out. I believe 3 months. You're wrong, can tell me.
I'm so thankful that I went back to beat Horizon Zero Dawn. That's a
I
game
need
that
to do that.
I still have
I put
to,
5
know.
hours into.
That's exactly
and then
what I did.
Immediately jumped into Zelda and got lost in that for months. I don't know. I don't even know if I ever got out of that.
That was
Still
my
playing.
problem.
My brain is still in there.
Is I started playing that game, then Zelda came out, then Nier, then Yakuza 0, and like they all came out around that time, basically.
Going back to Horizon was, I think, one of the best decisions I've ever made. Where early on, I felt kind of bored with Aloy and whatever
my
was
thing,
going
too.
on. But I think the story gets really, really good towards the latter half, along with the combat being great. I didn't love the combat at first, but walking and seeing a giant robot dinosaur, it's like, oh, I know how to take these out now, and I have my strategy of how to do it. I thought it was a really, really damn good game.
Yeah, I need to. I'm not necessarily feeling the combat in the game. I guess one of my worries is going back to that game. It's been
Oh, you'll
2
be
years.
lost as
Yeah.
hell.
Be lost and
wanna
also
start over, yeah.
not remember how the combat and stuff
You'll be
looks at all.
I always do that too, but it'll take you 30 minutes, but you'll be fine.
I
Okay.
went back to Outer Worlds after
You hated it first.
stopping playing Outer Worlds because of Death Stranding, and now I'm like, fuck, I'm lost in Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't remember really anything.
I really love that thing in Jedi Fallen Order that tells you, like, every aspect of the game, from story to controls to
Yeah.
whatever, is extremely easy to find as soon as you boot that game up.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
All right.
But
That's gonna
yeah,
do it
so
for
we don't.
us.
Yeah.
I think we only picked one of those, like when they're coming out, right? But
What was the
Oh,
fourth
wait.
one?
God of War 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2, I think, probably not coming at launch. I think it's a Christmas 2021 title.
Okay. God of War 2, I would say.
I don't know if
20
it's that soon, man.
I assume Insomniac started working on that thing immediately.
Yeah, but wait, when did Spider-Man come out? It came out
Last year.
Last year.
Yeah, no, I just feel like
It was early last
'Cause
year.
keep in mind, it was August-ish, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
yeah. I was gonna say late
Oh, that's right.
2022
Yeah.
makes sense. Three full years for that,
I think
especially with that.
with as hard as Sony has been showing off Spider-Man 1 on PS5 and being like, this is how we're going to prove or how different this game is. I think a Spider-Man 2... I know too much about this, so I can't speculate too much.
Okay.
I think a Spider-Man 2 will come sooner than we think.
Okay. All right. Well, it's hard to counter that.
Get me
kind
real
of
horny
comment.
right here, man.
That was really cool, dude. That was really cool.
I think that even
I
though
can confirm it feels great to play as an
with
F1 game
those
journalist.
goals, though, Sony wants to get stuff right, and with a new platform, I wouldn't be surprised to see it in 2022. But
Yeah, I
just guessing.
God
that
of War, I
things
think, is a
happen in other
2022
You
game.
love to see it.
You love to see it. Yeah.
God of
God of
War-
War was 2018.
Yes, also last year.
April.
I think
Yeah.
that's 2022.
I think that game just takes longer.
I was going to guess that one. Well, let's see. It would be over 3 years at the end of 2022. Yeah. That's what I would guess. Holiday 2022 for the next God of War.
Yeah.
Give them like tons of time on a whole new platform.
I'd say
and-
fall
And
2022.
even that is, like a very hard push. But what about Days Gone 2? We didn't talk about that one. So.
Save that for
I
another-
actually want to see more from that
Save
world.
that for
but
another time.
That wasn't on the list.
Yeah. Those are all the games he mentioned.
Ghost of
so-
Tsushima, we already guessed that on a previous Gamescast, though. I think we thought it might be close to the PS5 launch and maybe
I'm
cross-platform.
still thinking late summer, maybe. Because, like, keep in mind, Last of Us 1 released, like, maybe 5 months before the PS4 came out.
Yeah, I think it was. It was like a
Like,
June or something,
Yeah.
right?
So, like, they're not afraid to, like, put something right up against it, especially if they're...
Actually, no, I know it was in June because I put up an anniversary piece.
And it was E3 as well.
And it was actually like June 12th.
Yeah, it was
I
like
almost know
E3
off the
week.
top of my head.
Because I remember, like,
So-
wanting to go home and play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This is going to do it for your Gamescast, the first ever 249th episode. Sorry for everything.
That's right. Is there any cleanup at the end of the episode, Kevin, that we need to...
Well, there's a post show.
It was a post
Yeah,
show, baby.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap it up here. We'll be back with a regular host next week. Yeah, next week.
Maybe.
For now, enjoy your, presumably with regular host. If not, then we'll at least get better. We'll be better
Wait.
prepared for it.
Where can they find everybody? How about that? Imran?
Yeah, let's do that. Hold on. You fill the void for a second.
Andy, where can I find all of your awesome content, not only on Kind of Funny, but...
I am Maximum Cortez on all my social platforms, and on Twitch, I am Andy Cortez.
Oh.
My real name.
Oh.
Well, not my real
Not
name. but-
maximum.
Max is your real name? I never knew.
No, I was gonna say That's a good one. Andres is my real
You like
name.
What about you, Fran?
Kevin,
Oh,
were you going
Kevin.
to say something?
No, I was about to say, what about you, Fran?
Great.
Do it.
Nobody's left around.
What are you doing for
They already
Friendsgiving?
left the show. Anyway, you can find me also on Twitch. It's a great way to support me, FM3_. Drop by there. And also, I remind people about that Epic store is a great way if you're picking up PC games on the Epic store. I'm Fran Mirabella on there. Yeah,
In case you want that Shenmue 3.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you're Andy Cortez, right?
Maximum Cortez.
You're Maximum Cortez on Epic Store. So you get the same problem I do. Fran Mirabella and Maximum Cortez on the Epic Store. Support us there as well.
You can find me at twitch.tv/ImranZomg. And I've got pretty much no other presence besides that and Twitter, which is the exact same name.
Love it.
All right. Let's wrap it up then.
And Kevin Coelho's Kind of Funny Kevin. Go follow him too.
Yeah. Go find it.
Thanks,
Yeah.
everyone.
All right. See ya.
Bye, guys.
Boy.
I love you.
Time for the
That's what
push-up.
Tim says.
Boy.